Marijuana shops across the state are closing. It's been 6 years since Michigan legalized recreational marijuana, and experts say the market is catching up.
13 on your sides. Nathan Lee has details on what this means for businesses and the communities they're in.
What you're seeing behind me here is the iconic dispensary in Lowell, one of 4 dispensaries that has closed in recent times, and you can see the effect of it here. Take a look, these overgrown roots that are hanging over the parking lot, even some overgrown roots that are hanging in front of the building itself. Iconic was one of those dispensaries, a part of the boom when marijuana was first legalized in Michigan, now dealing with these heavy market pressures.
Everybody's in a different spot right now. Some people are like, hey, we figured it out. Like, let's keep going. This is getting better. And other people are like, hey, we haven't figured it out yet. When are we going to cut our losses?
It's been 6 years since recreational marijuana was legalized in Michigan, seeing an explosion of cannabis dispensaries across the state. One of the first was in Lowell, a city whose licensing laws made it possible for dispensaries to set up shop.
They started creating jobs. For one, they also started receiving tax revenue from the adult use sales.
But now the city has lost almost half of the marijuana businesses it had in 2022, closing 4 of their 9 facilities in the past year.
It's not a perfect market yet.
Josh Covert has dedicated his life to marijuana law and advocacy.
There was that initial rush because of the availability of the license.
He says for dispensary owners, the honeymoon phase is over.
We have a lot of different constraints and pressures being from, the state regulations. The IRS is taxing us different than any other industry. And then we have it's a brand new industry with lots of different fluctuations in supply and demand.
Covert says this leaves many businesses unable to hold on, forcing the closure of stores like in Lowell.
It has been very beneficial to the city, and it will continue to be beneficial to the city.
Lowell gets thousands of tax dollars per dispensary operating in town, money it uses to pave streets. But city manager Mike Burns says he's not worried.
The market is correcting itself, basically. The sales statewide are still going up significantly.
Meaning Lowell won't be hit as hard as one might think.
I'm not panicking over it.
Covert says what's happening across the state doesn't mean the end times for dispensaries, but the effects of owner constraints and a budding industry moving towards a stable form.
And sometimes some of that might not be anticipated, when you first get into the industry.
Covert said because of how volatile the cannabis industry is, you might start to see more dispensaries that look like this, but you also might start to see more dispensaries opening in your area. He said things will eventually equal out to a sustainable level. In Lowell, Nathan Lee, 13 on your side.